What's going on, y'all? So here's what we're going to do. So I've got this 880. We've got a scored top end. And before you just go getting all parts swapping happy, you need to take some well spent time and dig in and find out what was the cause of the failure. You start throwing fresh parts at this without really narrowing down exactly what caused the failure or what things led to. There could be more than one issue with this. So let's take a quick overlook at this saw and talk about what I'm going to do. All right. Should always be pressure and vacuum tested. Okay. We're going to look for a leak. This 880 poses a small challenge with the old style cast aluminum muffler. And by the way, this is still an 880, yet it has the 088 muffler. I've seen two of these over the years that were kind of that transition into 088 to 880. You know, and some of that was just a rebranding when we went from the O series saws to the MS saws. And this exemplifies that, because shortly thereafter they went to the stainless muffler on these. I love the way these sound. They're a great sound tone. All right, so you know we're gonna have to block off the intake. So we'll remove the carb. Now here's the catch. On these, there's this tricky little clamp that holds the muffler to the cylinder. I'm not gonna be able to block it off. But what I am going to try and do is block off the exhaust port, and hopefully that will give us a tight enough seal where we can pressure and vacuum test the crankcase, and then we'll have a look at the carb. The fuel that's in the saw right now is fine, but we'll dig in a little deeper. All right, y'all. Had a little bit of trouble. I was actually able to do a good vacuum and pressure test on this. Only problem was after I blocked off this exhaust port, the seal still leaked around this muffler. And again, this is just held on by a couple of cutesy clamps that go on either side of the muffler, and this heavy duty band that swings around the back side of it and holds both of those together. Wasn't completely airtight, but I was able to use my air compressor with the regulator way down to pump enough air in there and keep some pressure on, some steady pressure on it, to ensure that the seals don't leak. So that wasn't the issue. This was not an air leak. That seal's okay. So tore it down a little bit and got the original carburetor here. And let's take you in a little closer. All right, bunch of trash in the carburetor. There's a screen underneath all that goop. All right, so this was a fuel starvation problem. Hopefully, after we dip this thing in the ultrasonic for a while, this tells us an HT12. This has got, I don't believe these are available anymore. There may be some new old stock stuff out there, but this has the larger throat on it than the newer 880s. And here's what I did find. And when if you ever want to know how old your saw is, when you look right here where it says MD or MOD or DOM 10.18. So that's October of 2008. Now, I have a hard time trying to figure out how, and this is a Stihl filter that's in here. Let me take you out a little bit. You can make one of these handy dandy tools out of old metal coat hanger and then just fish that in there. All right, you see this style of filter? There's a wire screen with a piece of foam on the inside. This is a Stihl filter, but I swear this is an older style filter. I don't know if this has ever been replaced or not, but it allowed all that trash to roll right into the carburetor. Um, cylinder looks okay. I mean, it is scored. Here, let's get some light on it. Just some light hazing on this side, on the intake side. And then on the exhaust side, you know, I got some decent scoring and some transfer above the exhaust port, but I believe that'll clean up. But this isn't one of those cases where you want to just slap a fresh piston in here and go back to town just because it does have a leak. Oh, crap. If you can't do this for a living and not spill some fuel every once in a while, it happens. All right, so let's take a look at, there's the exhaust side of our piston. She got hot. She got real hot. There's the intake side, you know, and there's just no heat on the intake side. You've got fresh gasoline pouring all over the intake skirt, so it's constantly being cooled. But then you look in here in the crankcase, and there's this real fine aluminum powder that's all ground up in there. And you can hear the bearings, they're a little crunchy. So we're gonna look at doing a full rebuild on this. Split the case, new bearings, new seals, new gaskets, and get this Humpty Dumpty back together again. We've got a couple other things we're gonna address while we're here. At some point in time, this saw took a pretty hard lick, and I don't know if a log rolled over on it or whatever, but the top handle's banged up pretty good. It's hard to tell, but it's significantly distorted. And it broke this mount, and gas tank is cracked. We're gonna try one of the Farmer Tech gas tanks. Hold our breath. I couldn't find a used one on eBay. There was one in Croatia, but I thought I'd skip that. And on this side, the buffer seems to be fine. I'm gonna pull it out and make sure that it's in good shape. It's just the retaining, you know, tab that spreads out that AV bushing right there is missing. So we'll get the last little smalls ordered up for this and get this big bitch put back together. And that'll be it for now. Give us a couple weeks, get some parts in hand, and we'll definitely have an update. Thanks for watching.